was an unplanned trip, and I was not prepared with PowerPoint. Oh, okay, what was in my heart? I will. Yesterday afternoon only I think we decided. Your Pastor Karan is very fast, lightning speed. I just said, I think we may plan to come. That's all I said. Then I changed the plan after 10 minutes. By the time he has arranged some meetings. And so we had to change the plan. We planned to come yesterday and meet them and go. Then how can I come here and not attend your service? So then we changed the plan. We went to see our niece in the other part of the Pune, and morning we came. Good. So good to see you all. I came here with before, tiles on all these places were ready. It was just the plain structure was here, and and it was nice to see that everything is done very well. But by the time things changed, things changed. Yeah. So storms come in our life. They don't come and tell you I'm coming. And we have weather forecast team. Most of the time it goes wrong. And we stay in Nilgiris, 6,000 feet above sea level. And administration often warn us, and they tell us, we run a school, so they'll give us notice, tomorrow schools are closed because of heavy rain expected. And next day, school will be closed, and it'll be bright, sunny day. And the day they run the school, and those days it'll be pouring, and people will be dodging through water, and they'll reach the school. So unpredictable. Though we have technology, all this, thank God we have all this, but they can't predict life journey now. What's going to happen in our life. We prepare ourselves with insurance, we prepare ourselves for future, retirement plan, and all the plan gets stuck in one lightning. And that's what happened to me. And this morning, I don't know what to share with you. Actually, I don't feel sometimes that I'm sick. Sometimes I don't feel. So I can't say I really suffered 1.5 years and I'm survived. I know why they call, cancer survivors. Battling cancer. So they have used the picture of warfare for cancer. And in my case, and my wife, we always have Google information store, and anything we just go and check there. So she tried to find out the survival rate in my case. So Deborah said, David, there is no survival status for your kind. That means there is no survival kind of thing. So you are at a dead end. This morning, I want to share with you from another storm disciples faced, the real storm that they faced. And we'll check that stories. We'll read the story, and then it's a very familiar story, and we will see if we can draw out some thoughts from that. Okay, Mark chapter 4, verse 35 to 41. Mark chapter 4. Can somebody read? Which versions you all use? Any version is okay. Chapter 4, verse 35 to 41.
Hi, church. 35, Mark 4. The day when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There was also other boats with him. A furious quail came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we are drowned?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? even the wind and the waves obey him.
It's a beautiful story. Here is a real story where Jesus was the disciples and he told them, let's go to the other side. That is, he was in the western side of Galilee, and he's telling, let's go to the other side, that is the eastern side of Galilee. And he also joined them and they crossed. On the way, suddenly there was a storm and they were all terrified and Jesus was relaxing. And in my version, it says, you're sleeping on a cushion. Okay, and he was relaxing. And these disciples were terrified, definitely. That is not. And they are, some of them are fishermen, and they are not unfamiliar to the weather condition in Galilee and their region. Though they were familiar, and that's such a storm, when it came, they were terrified. And fishermen can handle all these, waves and storms. But even then, it was not uncommon. Okay, and soon something that they faced was uncommon, and they were terrified. But then we see how Jesus comes in, and he rebukes the storm and brings things under control, and they continue their work. Okay, so storms come in our life. So one of the things that I want to show is this: number one, God commands us to go the other side. Let's start with here. God commands us to go the other side. Verse 35, it says, that day when the evening came, he said to his disciples, let us go over to the other side. The same thing is other gospel. Matthew, he writes in chapter 8, verse 18, Jesus gave orders to go the other side. So one side is saying, let's go to the other side. The other side is saying, Matthew is noticing, no, Jesus commanded them to go the other side. So I look at two things here. There's a promise. Let's go to the other side. Okay. So God has kept a promise for the other side. We have done something here, but the other side also needs my visit. The other side people also needs my touch. So there is the other side for all of us. There is a promise. So promise has to be trusted and responded to. So God has given you promise. Let's go to the other side. Trust that. Trust him. Trust his promises. And respond to his promises. We will do that. Number two, it's a command. Matthew says he gave them orders to go the other side. So when he commands, it's not a suggestion. So we also have a command. That's what Jesus said. The greatest command. Okay. And then the greatest commission. Now, what is that command and commission? We are commissioned and we are commanded to go to the other side. Why Karan is here? Because God told him to go to the other side. For Bombay, nearly 8 years you were there. I mean, the ministry kind from ATC onwards. Nearly 6 to 7 years. Everything is set. But because something he felt, there is a promise of God and there is a command of God to go to the other side. And he came here. So, gospel has reached to nook and corners of this world because people believed that they had to go to the other side. So when God says let's go to the other side, is a promise, also is a commandment. Now, what is the other side for Jesus? Other side for Jesus was the eastern side of Galilee at that point. Okay, at that point. Now, Jesus had finished healing and demonstrated God's power, and he met people in this side. He said, let me also go to the other side. The other place is called this Gerasene region. That region also people need to know. And there as he goes, he sees demonized men. And he starts setting people free. So now there is the other side. So unreached new territories are always the other side for a child of God and for the church. So while we look after our local church, we also keep thinking about the other side. What is the other side for me? What is the other side for my family? What is the other side for the local church? Because they believed, even small churches of hundreds of people, strength, they send many missionaries to many parts of the world. For St. Paul, What was his other side? What was his other side for Paul? They all are raised up in Jerusalem. Huh? Gentiles. He said, hey, come on, you all are, occupied with this, only your community, only Jews. No, Jesus came for everybody. I want to go to the other side. And in his lifetime, the world that was known to him was, gospel reached there. He penetrated, he waved his way through the most difficult places. So Paul, for him, the other side was the Gentiles, the entire Europe. Then for William Carey, other side was, he left Great Britain and he came to India. He was called the living encyclopedia. Like we go to Google for information, you could go to him. He knew, he had studied the culture, the places, the people of the entire world. He could tell. And he used to weep when he used to open up the world map and he started studying. These people don't know God. And he used to weep. And for him, the other side was India. And today we have nearly more than 10 to 14 translations of the Bible he has contributed in Indian languages. Okay, here is. I can go on telling many other people. Okay, what is the other side for us? Okay, what problems will be always there in life? Questions will be always there in life. Difficulties will be always there in our lives. Mountains will be always there in our lives. Storms 1, 2, 3, 4 will keep coming in our lives. We will never be free of problems. But in the midst of all our problems and difficulties, we should know who we are and why we are here. So what is the other side for us? Okay, remember that. So storms hit them. Storms hit them. Let's look at some things about the storm. Suddenly a storm hit. I was in Navy, so I know what is storms. I have faced storms. We had also given SOS calls sometimes, and we have gone to, in fact, whenever there is a storm, that's the time they will tell us to go to the sea, because we go for rescue operation and help other ships. So when storm comes, that's not the time we pack up and go and sleep inside. When storm comes, we are told to leave the harbor, because if my ship is, berthed alongside the harbor, when winds and waves and high-speed wind comes, the ship will hit the harbor and it can damage your ship. So I was an oil tanker. So once there was a warning, and one day before itself, we were told, come on, take your anchor and go to the sea. So we had to go to the sea. And there you anchor you find a place and anchor your ship. And when the next day we are waiting for the rain, and what? We had to be standby for a rescue operation. So once I remember when there was storm and waves and the ship, we had to start the engine. And I was reading the parameters. We saw these parameters normally will give me 3 to 4 nautical mile speed. That level, we had to start the engine and face the storm and keep standing there, waiting for the next order to go. So storms will come in life. We should know what is the other side. We should be geared up to move ahead. Okay, now storms are tests. Okay, number one, what we learn from storms. Storms are tests. Storm tests us. Difficult time tests us what kind of breed you are. Somebody said, in during the storm, behave like a child of God. So storms tell us who we are. Life is a trust, and life is a test. You are trusted, you are tested, and you are trusted. Then when you are trusted, you are tested. Then you are trusted. So you want to keep growing. So test is not to disqualify you. Test is to assess whether you can be trusted. We are all, how many of you like exams? There are no children here. Children on that side. Yeah. All hate exam. We all we get scared. We hate tests. Oh, test tomorrow. Oh, my test tomorrow. But nobody realizes that test is to assess your capability, whether you can be promoted or not. So the test means what is next after the test? There's a promotion. 10th standard exam. Hey, that is for you to go to the 11th standard. 12th standard exam. So tests are for always. After the test is a promotion. So you are tested. Not in the intention of test is not to disqualify you. So storms are tests. So life is a trust and life is a test. And also life is, God has created us for his pleasure and for his purpose. So out of his love for me, because he has created me for his purpose and for his pleasure. Each time he looks out to you, he looks at us, he says, hey man, he's my creation. He's my son. He's my daughter. I made him for a purpose. People have a lot of showpiece in the house. I don't want no function for it. No function. My wife had brought a lot of grass and put it on side. One pot and put some grass. So the next day, the lady came to broom, clean up the house. She removed all the grass and threw it. Deborah, she had a heart broke. For her, it is a great decoration and creativity. And for other lady, it was a grass. Hey, God has made us for his pleasure. We all are beautiful. We all have a purpose. We are not showpieces. Hey, listen. Storms are tests. So don't get scared of storms. Don't get scared of tests. If tests are coming, next is my promotion is coming. Hallelujah. Number 3, storms come even when we are in the center of God's will. Storms comes in our life while we are doing God's will. When you follow God, when you're in the center of God's will, everything will go smooth. Sorry. It doesn't work that way. Disciples, they were in the center of God's will. Jesus said, let's go to the other side. And in response to Jesus' command and his call and his promise, they were to the other side. So in the middle of Galilee, and they were in the center of God's purpose and God's will, and they responded. They should be garlanded. Whereas they face the storm. So this morning, are you in the center of God's will? NBCC, you are in the center of God's will in Pune. Did God, in response to God's call, you all came here, the other side, and so far so good. Storms come. Storm comes to individuals, storms come to the church. When you planned this place, you were across 100 people, right? There are 100 people. Then another storm hit. And now, what do we do? Lord, we are doing the will of God. So storms come in different form and different intensity and different frequency. So when storm hit me, I faced many storms. I resigned my Navy prematurely. Prematurely means my initial contract, and I left. And at the age of 24, 25, I gave my life to the Lord to be ready to serve the Lord. But my 6 years of my contract was still left. So I dragged. But the last 2 years of before leaving Navy, I was stuck with arthritis. In Navy, arthritis, and I'm still 1 year, 1.5 years left. So then I asked God, maybe at the age of 24, I was little, energetic, emotional. I made some statements and I gave my life to mission. But Lord, now the reality is different. I'm married now, and I'm sick like this. What is the worth? At least stay in Navy. Navy will look after me. Even if I'm 6 months in the hospital bed, my pay packet will come to my pillow. Should I leave or not? I want one more confirmation, Lord. I'm the center of God's will. But Lord, this storm hit me. And for 2 years, I couldn't do anything. Even for writing, I couldn't write because I couldn't direct my hand to the desired direction. What is writing? Our teachers will tell you. Ability to direct your pen in the direction that you desire to do. Okay. Artists, they have good control, but I couldn't even write. My wife has to write my sermon notes, then I'll come and preach. Sunday morning, I'll come, apply balm all over the body, because which part to? I'll have one brufen and come. Morning to evening, keep my smile on, and kept. That storm hit me. But God sustained me for last more than 30 years. Now I'm doing more than what I could do that time. 2 years, I used to play a little bit of guitar, but 2 years I couldn't play the guitar. If I hold one chord, there's one kind of nerve pull, I can't. So hit me. I said, Lord, I'm in the center of will. Why this storm hit me? But God sustained me. Number 4, storm comes suddenly. Suddenly. Everything was going well with me. In Matthew chapter 8, verse 24, it says, without warning, a furious storm came up on the lake. Without a warning. Normally, the fishermen would have told Jesus, you're only a carpenter. We know the sea behavior. We know the weather conditions. And I don't think this is a time to cross. So according to their assessment, everything was right. They crossed with no anticipation of any problem in life. And Galilee is not a great ocean. It is just a lake. Okay. Suddenly the storm came. Disciples were shocked. Naturally, when it suddenly comes, you are shocked. 2019, November onwards, I had some stomach problem. Okay. Some gastric problem, and we tried everything. Whatever doctor gave, the medicines, it helped me. And but I didn't get a permanent solution. So my stomach pain used to shift all over. Then I used to overcome and keep doing it. Then I was waiting to spend some time with God for next few years of my life, what I should do. So I went to a retreat place and I stayed there. But half the time went only handling my stomach problem. So 3 days I spent alone and I felt bad. Then the next day, Deborah, I told my wife, Deborah, you also come after 2 weeks. Once more we'll have. But my planning for future, actually I wanted to spend time with God, understand God. Show me what is next 20 years for me. I want to look ahead and give me some tips. So I was trying to wait there. But my stomach problem increased. Nothing happened. 3 months I was suffering. January 26, 2021, all the youth went for trekking. So they went for a trek. I also joined them. So we had to go down 1,500 feet from our place and climb up. It's a steep hill. And I went with them. I took them to that place and brought them back. And after coming to the base, then these fellows, I had to wait for these people, youngsters to come. I was saying, Lord, I'm 63, not bad. I still, I have many years to live. and I'm strong. And I'm thinking, whereas that time, cancer was growing in my body. Cancer was spreading. I had no idea. Then Easter, everything was over. I had some leaders training, and we had a combined after COVID because we didn't want to come to a hall. We had an open air, in the forest area. We had a Easter celebration. Next day, my doctor said, David, Pastor, you are not looking okay. I had lost 9 kilos, which I didn't realize. Each time I was losing weight, I thought, I was happy that I'm losing weight. But I didn't know there is a killer inside. Then doctor told me, okay, David, in Coonoor is a small place. You go to Coimbatore and, at least go and meet a specialist. So we went there. The first ultrasound, they found out, hey, something is, surrounded your liver. That was enough. CT scan, understood it is cancer. So I went to Vellore. So I said, let me go to CMC Vellore to understand, because they are good in diagnosing. I'll go. So I went there. After finishing a few tests, I had to meet the doctor. And I thought online they will tell me the test. They said, no, you have to come in person. I think they have a protocol that cancer is like a counseling, it's like HIV. You don't tell in the phone, you have to come. So I went there. As we sat, that doctor was plain, just straightforward, stern face. She said, so sir, you have cancer. It's colon cancer. It spread to liver, and you are in 4th stage. She didn't speak no more word. Then I asked, what about any treatment? Yeah, you can try chemo. Then I said, I heard that there is one, any surgery? We'll try. Let's see how you respond to chemo. Then I said, there is something called, arterial infusion. Yeah, let's see how you respond to it. I mean, they didn't give any hope to me. My son-in-law was there next to me. We both froze. Storm hit me suddenly, unexpected. 3 months I was suffering. Nobody thought I will ever have this. So nobody even suggested that. But God is the Lord of storms. He's there. I have another side to go. My purpose is not over. My purpose is counted in the eternal perspective, not an earthly perspective. We all have to die. Only on different dates we die. And different we die. So, okay, death is there. Then I prepared myself, that little shock. So I was coming back, I started planning what my wife will do. My house is halfway built, and my son has not completed his college. And I mean, those worries just hit me. But the Lord is the Lord of the storm. Now, 1.5 years over, nearly 1.5 years, Deborah? Nearly 1.5 years over, I have finished 24 chemos. 24 chemos I finished, chemo cycles. The people used to come, and there also during the COVID time. After my first chemo, I had COVID. Then I survived that also. And God has kept me. And God gave me strength. I could finish chemo. I used to, from Nilgiris, I used to go to Mysore for my treatment, come back. Next day, I used to do my work normal. And God has strengthened me. But over a period, things have changed. And my effect of chemo on my body also depleted. And last month, my cancer indicator increased. That means now my time has come. There is no more chemo. Chemo is not having effect on my body. Then the doctor changed the chemo. And after that one cycle, some change was there. Oh, this new chemo is working. It may work for another 6 months. So I come to a dead end. So my storm hit and storm stayed. and it is there. It's there. But the Lord of the storm is also there. Where is my Jesus? He told them to go to the other side. He didn't send them. He also went with them. In the time of storm, he's sleeping. He's with the people. He's not abandoned them. But these people felt that they're abandoned. But Jesus was with them. So Jesus is with me. He's with me. He's with me. Sometimes he takes me through scary rides. It's fine. One look at the face of our Father, change the situation. Once I was in China, I was watching, I went to the children park. There was the roller coaster ride. Children all want to go, but once they sit on that, they're scared, they scream. So now all the adults are standing outside. Okay. Now there's only one place, one segment the people can see. The other segment, they can't see anybody because it's a forest area, and they go in the ride. They scream as they come this side. Each one is want to look at their parents sitting there. Our father says, when they look at the father, then they hold and keep going. And when they come again, father, look at the father. Scary ride. But look at the father's face. Things change. It brings comfort. It gives hope. Everything's not over. So as we go through scary ride, look at the father's face. It brings you comfort and strength. Jesus is there with us. He has not abandoned us. He's sleeping. Number 5, storm causes to doubt God. And verse 38 says, Jesus was in stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him up and said to him, Teacher, don't you care if we are drowned? Are you not bothered about us? Hey, if you drown, Jesus also will get drowned with you. We are selfish people. We don't bother. I think parents will understand when you go through a problem. When children ask for something, they are not bothered about your family finance, family things. I want now. I want this. I want that. No, child, I cannot afford. They are not bothered. They want now. What they want now. Abandon. They are with Jesus. Storm causes us to doubt God. Where are you, God? I didn't doubt God because I had gone through, but I start thinking, Lord, what is it real? There are times when they have gone through troubles. Some of our believers got discouraged. For somebody who responded to God, they are facing so much trouble. Those who don't have God, they are flourishing. Yeah, King David had the same problem. He used to go to God. God, those who don't acknowledge you, they are prospering. Everything is going well with them. But why, Lord, with me? But then after some time, he'll tell, no, I will be in the house of the Lord. And their end is different. The wicked will perish, but the righteous will thrive. Okay, so now there is storm. Jesus is missing. Where are you, God? It is fine. Each time I asked God to tell me, Lord, where are you? My daughter, at the age of 17, my eldest daughter, at the age of 17, she had arthritis. At 11th, she was a good sports girl. She used to play, basketball and throws. She was good. And but 11th and 12th, she suffered a lot. She had a medical examination, nothing. We couldn't find. I said, Lord, when she was born, I got arthritis. Now, at the age of 17, she's getting arthritis. It's very typical. And 12th board exam, she did it throughout her pain. She'll come and she'll lie down. And she'll go for exam, come back, just lie down. She'll be in pain. All medication didn't help. There are times we have a French window. That's a place I used to sit normally to, it's a beautiful place. And once my daughter was sitting there and we hugged each other and we cried. I couldn't help her out. When your child is suffering and you can't help her out, what can you do? So we hugged and cried. I said, Lord, Anna, the Lord will take care of you. Then myself and Deborah, we used to think, okay, Deborah, Anna's, God doesn't heal. By 30, 35, she'll be crippled. Hands will go like this. So as long as we live, we look after her. But God had a call for her to go the other side. See, when God has called us to go the other side, He will ensure that you're alive till you go the other side. Now, if God has a plan for me to go the other side, these disciples, they will not perish in Galilee. The storm will not kill them. God will take them safely to the other side. But during this time, they will see something of God. So here we are. Storms causes to doubt God, but don't give in to your doubts. There is a God who has a plan and purpose for us. He will take us beyond. By the way, my daughter is now 34. I had to cross-check with your wife. Now she's married. She's got 2 children, and the 3rd baby is on the way. And she survived. And we used to tell, we don't want to cheat anybody. Any boys fall in love with her? My daughters are smart. So I said, many boys may come, but then we should tell them what is their actual problem. So my son-in-law came and asked, Uncle, I proposed Anna. I said, listen, do you know Anna's condition? Her sickness, I have tried whatever is possible to treat. Is not getting healed. If this graph continues, another 10 to 15 years, she'll be worse. Then he said, Uncle, I can't tell, you are her father. I can't tell I know her more than you. I do know her pain. I knew her condition. But God has, has directed, and she's the one for me. I said, what about this sickness? He said, Uncle, wealth and health is not permanent. Wealth and health is not permanent, but God has made Anna for me, so I'm ready to marry. I said, go ahead. And God had spoken to you when she was 8 years old, that one day she'll be a missionary to China. And this boy, he was already in China because he wanted to serve in that land. And God fulfilled that dream after another 15 years. So if God has told you to go to the other side, He'll keep you safe. He'll keep you alive. I'll take you. That faith I have. Lord, you call me other side. You will keep me safe. So what is the point of doubting you? Where are you, God? Where are you, God? How many times I ask? So I stopped asking, where are you, God? I know where you are there, Lord. But can you tell me something? Where you taking me? How are you going to take me? That journey I want to know. That He doesn't tell me. I'm not clear I will die in a short time. And I'm not clear that I will live for 20 years or 10 years next. But I'm planning as if I'm going to live for another 20 years. Life is not in your hand. So God is there in middle of our storm. So in this time of storm, we tend to doubt God. Number 6, storms teach us about God. Yes. Your Bible is God's word. It reveals who God is. That is theory. So practical. You can get PhD on the theology of God. If you ask tell me all the attributes of God. You will tell, oh, God is omnipresent, omniscient. No, you can rattle all the qualities of God. Huh? Oh, there is a transferable qualities, non-transferable qualities, and you can give lectures, 10 sessions you can take on God. But do you know God? Knowing about God is different. Knowing God is different. How many of you know about Dr. Abdul Kalam, late Dr. Abdul Kalam? How many of you know about him? Okay. Come on, listen. If you know, yeah. How many? You all know about him. How many of you know him? Yeah. Knowing him is different. So through storms, we get to know God. Through storm, we get to know God. Disciples saw the attributes first time. See, they have seen him healing the blind, healing the lepers, healing the crippled. They have seen, but they have not seen Jesus having power over nature. There's a new attribute. You want to see new attributes of God? Then you have to go through storm. When you've seen the new attribute of God, you will stand strong in those times. Because you know, hey, why they were in panic? Because they have never seen God having control over nature. They have seen God healing the blind, healing the deaf, healing the crippled. That's all one part of God they've seen. The other part of Jesus they did not know. But that day in the storm, they got to see, hey, this God, hey, he can rebuke the storm. Natures obey him. One more attribute of God they got to see because they were in the middle of the storm. So you have seen God. I have seen God as a healer, as a provider, as a protector, as a guide, as one who fights the battle for me, conversions. I've seen baptisms. I've seen fulfilling targets. I've seen financial needs met for myself, my family, for the church, for the mission. I've seen God's various attributes. But I want to see more of God. Probably through this journey, I will see other attributes of God. Hallelujah. Yeah. So storms teach us about God. So don't miss. Number 7, storms will stretch our faith. Storms will stretch our faith. When nothing is there for you, where will you go? That's the time you go to God. So when come under pressure, we start thinking, oh Lord, what should I do? He said to disciples, who are yours? Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? Come on, stretch your faith. Go beyond your gray matter's ability. There's a God who is the Lord of the storm. So in winding, I want to tell you, storms are tests. So tests are not to disqualify you. Tests are to see whether you can be qualified. Storms come even when you are doing God's will. God's will. Storms come suddenly. Storms cause us to doubt God. And storms teach us about God. And we see the other attributes of God. Storms will stretch our faith. Hallelujah. I want to thank God. So far, God has been good to me. And the same God will be good to me again. He never changes. He never fails. His plans are never to harm me. His plans are to prosper me and give a better future. While I'm on earth, while I will live my life till my last breath. I tell God, God, even my deathbed, my heart should beat for you. My heart should beat for you. Oh Lord, anyway, one day I'm going to die. But while I'm living, let me live for you. What else I have? Okay, church, there is another side for all of you. There's another side for the church. Okay, may the Lord bless you and give you wisdom and faith to keep moving at all times of problems and challenges, and you will go to the other side. What God has assigned for each one of you. God bless you.
Okay, just want to say, some of you know that I'm close to Uncle David. Um, I'm actually his nephew. I'm actually his nephew, but I'm anyway close, not because of family, but because of the gospel. He said he went through 24 cycles. Of them, 2 cycles I was with him. I had traveled to Mysore and to be with him, and I realized that even through that cycle, even through going through that chemo, he said, I can't waste my sickness. Let me take one person and disciple them. Like that was his perspective when I was with him. I'm just wondering if it's okay, Uncle, if we can pray for you. We don't know what God's will is, but we want to pray. And then Auntie, come. You can also come, Auntie. This is not introduced. So Deborah Auntie. I'm going to request Jyoti and Esther, if you all can just come and pray for, come Auntie. Pray for Uncle's, if it's God's will for him to be healed completely and the cancer would disappear, that would be amazing. And but otherwise, if it's God's will, whatever God's will, we just pray for God's will. And I'm going to ask Jyoti to pray for Uncle, and if you can pray for the family and Auntie too. Aye. Symbolically, if we can stretch our hands a little bit towards Uncle.
प्रभु जी, हम यीशु मसीह के नाम से आपके